Hello everyone, this is Motbot. This is my medieval Let's Build, and this episode is going to be showcasing the Blacksmith, which is right down this road here. Just past the pub, which I worked on in the last episode, or at least showcased it, and it will be a showcase of the Blacksmith as well. In the next episode, I will be actually building something. Like I said in the last episode, I already had a few buildings in this world, and I'm going to be showcasing those before I build new ones. But I made a small change to the pub, and you can kind of see it through the window right here. You can just kind of glance in and see what's going on. I had several comments saying I should add more layers to or more dimension rather, to the walls, which is something that I always do, and for whatever reason didn't here. So thank you for pointing that out first off. And then I got the recommendation of glowstone and of redstone lamps, and personally, I like the redstone lamps better than the glowstone. And I tried different combinations with like trapdoors and stuff, but this is kind of what I think is best. On the back is still kind of flat, but at least you have this ridge here. Still, okay, that was weird. Still stuff to be changed with this build here, and of course any other build in this world should probably be changed as well, at least added to. So do let me know what you think. The one thing though that I do want to point out about these is that they can go back still, a few, the walls can, because I do have a mountain here and a mountain here. So pretty much all of the walls could expand back a few blocks if you have an idea. Or send me a link, or paste a link rather, in the comments to maybe something on Imgur, and show me that if you would like me to add it. But moving on to the actual thing I want to show in this episode is the blacksmith. Now, I know I don't have much in this world, but this is by far my favorite thing about this. I have several things around here, the church up there and the pub and the gate and stuff. But this, I think, turned out the best so far. So it's very similar on the outside to the pub here. Same building materials, because it is a themed town, so I'm going to use the same building materials throughout. But also because of the location, you see it's just kind of in this like open-topped valley kind of thing here. Like you got the overhang there, and you got one here. That one's actually not natural. It was almost fully connected here, but I connected it myself to make it look just a bit better. The top looks pretty derpy, not sure why it's like that. This is smooth lighting, but half slabs are weird with lighting. So yeah, it is pretty similar to the other one on the outside. A lot shorter, though, as well. It's a few blocks down, and the pub goes up a few blocks as well. But I like the flat ceiling. I think it matches kind of the blacksmith feel. But anyways, let's go in. And the first thing you should see, probably, I think, at least what I was trying to get, is the attention to be drawn to these armor stands. So obviously when you place them, they do not have arms. You can use a command though, and that's slash entity data at entities, and then type equals, oh, you can't use tab there. Armor has no E on it. Armor stand. And then you can add parameters here, and if you say show arms, and then set it to true like this, then they all show arms. And obviously they have arms, so if I just set it to 0. Okay, the arms, actually I don't think are hiding because they have objects in them. That's probably all that is. Either that or I'm just not good with commands right now and I can't think clearly. Although that's probably it. So yeah, something I really like with the chain armor, and keeping the base plate on instead of taking it off is another thing that I think really adds to it. And in this texture pack, swords are just gorgeous, so of course that is great. But the other thing that you would probably notice is the only bit of red, I think, that I know of in this room, and that is the redstone ore right behind that iron bar, which is supposed to be, kind of like the fire that you would do your blacksmithing in. And then I have a light source right underneath that trapdoor there, and that is an iron trapdoor, so you cannot open it. I'm right-clicking right on here. You can do that, but you can't actually open it. So just a little tip there if you're a map maker and you want to use that. You can't see the torch under there, but I have a redstone torch for some dramatic lighting. And then, of course, if you are, melting your stuff here, you're going to want to turn it down and cool it off in some water. So I got the cauldron sunk a half block into the floor right here. And the floor is the next thing I want to talk about. The half slab, really, really like how it looks. I actually decided to use a half slab when I was deciding how to do the anvils, because, blacksmith, you have to have anvils. That's just like a given. But if you put them up at head height, so like on top, like where the skull is here, it's very awkward because you can't see past it. And if you put it directly on the floor, it's also, whoa, frame rate, what is this? All right, we're not going to move around too much. Oh, okay, it's better. That was weird. Okay, so if you put it just on the floor, then it also looks derpy because then it's like you can see like straight over it, you can jump over it and stuff. And it's just not the right height. So by doing this half slab floor here, it allows it for the anvil to be on the 1.5 block height, which seems to be kind of the perfect height really to be looking at it, which I really like. And then having the wooden block underneath it to be, you know, kind of like a support. And then also using the half slab to my advantage. This right here, these blocks are pistons, and what you're seeing the wood is the piston head, which is a really smooth wood that you can't get in any other texture in this pack. And then it's also got that little bit of cobble, and I'll go to back out of F1 mode here so you can see what I'm talking about. But this right here is, you know, the kind of stone texture which blends real well into the floor, and then gives a nice little kind of like transition into the wood there. So that was something I really like. And then other than that, you know, crafting bench with a skull on top of it. Again, using the skull, I use the skull in the pub as well as decoration, and I just really love how the skull looks, honestly. And I think in a blacksmith it fits real well with the color scheme and with the kind of theme of the building. Same door as before, too, with the spruce door. Seems to be kind of the door that I'm pretty much going to go with. Kind of my favorite door in this pack. I think it looks real medieval. It's got that nice style to it. Besides the chest, which is, I guess, really just a space filler, but it works, you know. I found this on Reddit, and I will put a link, or at least try to put a link in the comments if I can find the thread again, to someone who had posted a picture of using a furnace with some cobblestone walls above it, and that just makes it look like it would be a working furnace, like it would have ventilation. So, I'm going to try to get the link to that. Definitely want to give that guy credit, because I think it really does look nice. Makes it look really, like, you know, useful. And then still blending into the back, the cobble wall behind it, and the cobble furnace right below it. And so the advantage of this location, again, is with the mountain on this side. And if we come out here, you can see the mountain on this side. It's kind of a diagonal mountain here. And so putting my the blacksmith, had to read the sign. Putting the blacksmith into the side of this diagonal mountain here allowed me to have some kind of non-symmetrical parts. Like you got the window here, and then the ones in front, and then you've got two of the furnaces, or the furnace, whichever it is. I prefer furnace, but you know, over here, and you've got a single furnace over there. So kind of the not full symmetrical look, but still, I think it looks really, really nice, and symmetry isn't always a good thing, and I like to avoid it sometimes when I think it can add to the build, and I definitely think it did add to this build. So if there's anything else that you want to see in this blacksmith building, just as before, you know, with the I'm really bad with names right now. just as with the pub and any part of this world, if you want to see something changed, let me know, and I will try to add it, or maybe I'll edit the thought a little bit and add something very similar to it. But other than that, there is pretty much nothing. There is the church. That will be a later episode. Otherwise, everything else has been covered, and we have a black sheep, and now we don't. And then there's just this road back here. So this up here, I think, is where I'm going to be building the next building as a part of the series. But until then, this has been Mopbot, and I'm out.